Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Matthew Smith. I am your instructor for World History 198, World History to the present, 1500 to the present, that is. So again, I want to welcome you today. I'm just going to give a little bit of an orientation. I know sometimes teaching online or learning online can seem a little bit impersonal. I'm sure you've all probably, many of you at least, have taken classes online. Some of you may be a little bit more apprehensive about the format. Some of you may be thinking, 500 years of world history in 6 weeks. How are we going to cover all that? Well, first of all, I want to just sort of reassure you that we're not going to cover 500 years of world history in 6 weeks to the extent that we're going to cover every corner of the globe or every moment of time. This is really more a little bit of a sample platter, if you like, if you want to use a food metaphor. But I hope I'm going to, give you a little bit of an appetite to go off and learn more about the world we live in. Fire your curiosity over the next 6 weeks. I always like to start off with a little quote. I'm fond of quotations. So the quote I want to give today is from Winston Churchill, who of course was the Prime Minister of Great Britain during the Second World War, was also himself quite a notable historian. But he writes, "The farther back you can look, the farther forward you are likely to see." So again, one of the reasons I think that we study history, not just that it's fun facts about the past or even inspiring stories about men and women that lived in generations before us, but I do think, especially in this age of increasing globalization and particular automation that's being caused through artificial intelligence, through the technologies of the 21st century that we're all living with, I think it is really important, actually, not just a luxury, but a vital necessity to have a sense of where we are in the world and to be grounded in that world. So again, world history is one way of looking at the past. It's not the only way. But over the next 6 weeks, hopefully you will get something out of this class that, other than the 3 extra credit hours, which I'm sure will be an important step towards your Miami Plan goals. So again, today I'm just going to give a little bit of a brief orientation and just invite you, if you have any questions, to get in touch with me. My email is smithmd6. That is smithmd6, Matthew David 6. Apparently there's a lot of Smiths at Miami University, at miamioh.edu. So it's also on the syllabus, of course. So if you get in touch with me by email, I will try to get back to you, if it's not at the weekend, within 24 hours. So generally speaking, that's the easiest way of getting in touch. If you prefer phone as well, I have my phone contact on the syllabus. I'm also here at Rentschler Hall. I'm actually on the Hamilton campus. But if you want to stop by, have a face-to-face meeting, I'm quite happy to schedule during the summer. My hours are pretty flexible. And then also Zoom, Google Meets, any remote format as well. I'm perfectly happy to meet with you, provided it's relevant to the class. So communication, the 3 C's. So if you have any questions about the class, not just might seem trivial or it might be sort of a basic nuts and bolts question, don't hesitate to get in touch with me, because that's what I'm here for. I know we are also a small group this semester, which is both good and bad, but certainly good in the sense of this gives me the opportunity to respond to any queries that come my way pretty quickly this semester. So if you have any questions, don't feel you're imposing on me. I actually prefer it when I see students engaged with the material or asking questions, showing that they're invested in their learning. So again, my doors are open, metaphorically speaking. So if you need anything, please don't hesitate to get in touch. So we are, as I mentioned, covering the years 1500 to the present day. Now this week, week 1, module 1, if you like, we are going to be covering a little bit, actually, I do cheat a little bit before the time period of 1500. So, of course, the time 1500 is sort of chosen. It's the catalog year that appears in the Miami Plan. But really, what it points towards, I think, is the beginnings of modern globalization. And so, in some ways, the history of the last 500 years is a history of globalization. So, we're going to start off this week looking at some world travelers. Of course, we're all familiar with Christopher Columbus, who discovered America in 1492. But before Columbus, there were other notable world historians, world explorers, people like the Chinese admiral Zheng He. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but Zheng He was a key navigator, explorer, and naval commander of the 15th century Chinese Ming dynasty, who traveled as far afield as East Africa in the 15th century. Now, this was generations, decades before Columbus crosses the Atlantic in 1492. You also have figures like Ibn Battuta, who we'll watch a video on this week. He was a explorer or traveler from Morocco, a man of many hats. And it just goes to illustrate, again, that the world at the beginning of the modern era, if you like, was a world of great horizons, people traveling great distances. The stereotype, I think, that we sometimes get from like Monty Python movies and so on is that people living in the Middle Ages were just living in dirt and squalor, feudal villagers who never traveled more than 5 miles from the place they were born. But while that was certainly true for some people, the reality is that 500 years ago, as today, the world was becoming increasingly globalized. And I think we find that in the historical record. And I think that's really one of the reasons why starting that far back gives us a perspective on the present. So again, I'm not going to try and sort of overburden you in the first week. I'm really going to focus this time around on just getting our footing, getting our bearings. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me. The module 1, you can find from the homepage. You should all be able to figure out Canvas through the sort of the bar on the left side of the page. But for Module 1, first week, there are some readings. There are also some videos that we're going to watch. And just a couple of discussion boards. So we are doing discussion boards as part of I think it's 15% of your final grade that's listed on the syllabus. So again, get into the habit of posting often and frequently on discussion boards, not just original threads, but also commenting on at least two people's threads or comments every week. So that really, I think that the goal here is not just to show, although it's partly to show that you've engaged with the material in the class, but it's also a way of interacting with each other and learning together. So obviously, make sure that you respond to other people's comments. Make sure that these comments are constructive. So not just, that was stupid or that was awesome, but actually, engaged with the substance of the argument that is being put down, or if it triggers a thought in your own mind that leads you in another direction, be sure to, lead into the discussion board comments with some constructive criticism or constructive feedback on the other people's posts. And obviously it goes without saying, keep it civil, keep it friendly, but don't be afraid of disagreeing or questioning, within the bounds of civil discourse, if you like. So that's again, the discussion boards. We'll have weekly discussion boards. There'll be kind of prompts and questions. And also for this week, because this is our first week of class, I just have a little icebreaker discussion section. So if you want to post a little bit about yourself for the benefit of the class, obviously I posted a little bit myself on the homepage at the syllabus of the online class, just to introduce myself. But I don't know much about you guys, so I'm curious, whatever you feel comfortable sharing. Obviously, I'm not asking you to, divulge any, dark secrets, but anything that responds to any of the icebreakers on the introduction. And I've also put up some instructions for the first or the main essay, I should say, for this class, which is going to be due at the end of this month. This is called the comparative review essay. You're going to be comparing and reviewing two scholarly sources on world history, 1500 to the present. So do review those essay instructions if you have any questions, concerns about the assignment. Let me know about that, because that one is also a major part of your final grade for this semester. So again, as with any class, but especially I think with a short 6-week online class, it should be fairly straightforward. The learning goals are on the syllabus, but the main thing is that you kind of organize yourself. I recommend keeping a calendar, checking your messages at least every other day, if not every day, through Canvas. And making sure that you just kind of keep a checklist of everything that you're supposed to be doing for the week. So again, the modules kind of break down into 6 modules over the course of 6 weeks. We have 2 short essays, which are about, I think, 600 words each. A slightly longer essay, weekly discussion threads, which should be just, showing that you've really engaged with the material. And then a midterm and final exam, which are pretty short format. So, it's a lot to get through in 6 weeks in some ways, but really if you're organized and keep on top of things, this time will fly by very quickly. And I hope we all enjoy learning with each other, but also learning from each other. So again, my name is Matthew Smith, Dr. Smith, SmithMD6 at miamioh.edu. If you have any questions, please reach out to me and enjoy the semester. Thanks very much, folks, and I will keep in touch.